They are no man, no woman. Under the law of this state. And when the law is corrupt, it stands uncorrupted as the fountainhead of justice. But when the fountainhead is contaminated, everything that comes out of it is contaminated. So when I hear people stand on this floor and talk about equity, talk about justice, talk about protecting taxpayers, it's just so much gibberish. It means absolutely nothing. But they get away with it, so they continue to do it. I cannot stop anybody from saying what they want to say, and I would not want to stop them. I like to know what they are, where they are, and who they are. And the best way to do that is to provoke them into saying what they have in their wicked little hearts. Then I know how to deal with them. In the legislature, we have rules that the body adopts by a majority vote, usually overwhelming. And I always vote no. And I do it for a reason. I have no role to play in the fabrication or formulation of these rules, and I vote against them, but I know that I am bound by them. And everything I do is within those rules, and I intend to continue doing exactly and precisely that. And I will take however much time that I want. And I just want some of you to provoke me to take even more time than I may be intending to take.
1 minute.
But I certainly am going to take this bill to cloture, not only here, but on select file. It will get there. And there are other bills on select file that I intend to take time with. There are some bills on final reading that I intend to take time with. Suppose we have 30 bills on final reading, and I take that be 4 into 30, goes 7 plus 2, that would be 7 hours. Taking only 15 hours on each of 30 bills. Not enough to kill any one of them, but it would be enough to kill a lot of time, and some of those that haven't made it to final reading yet may not make it. Some of those who are trying to get off select file may not make it, and it means nothing to me. This session...
Time, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would ask for a call of the House and a roll call vote.
Thank you, Senator Chambers. Been a request to place House on a call. Question is, shall the House go on a call? All those in favor vote aye. Those opposed vote nay. Record, please, Mr. Clerk.
23 ayes, 1 nay. Mr. President, to place the House under call.
House is under call. Senators, please record your presence. Those unexcused senators outside the chamber, please return to the chamber, record your presence. All unauthorized personnel, please leave the floor. The House is under call. Senators Wademeyer, Hansen, Bowles, Murante, Kintner, Kolowski, please check in. Senators Bowles and Murante, the House is under call. All unexcused members are now present. Question before us is the adoption of the reconsideration motion. Senator Chambers has requested a roll call vote. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Baker, voting no. Senator Bloomfield, voting no. Senator Bowles, voting no. Senator Brosh, voting no. Senator Campbell, voting no. Senator Chambers, voting yes. Senator Koash, voting no. Senator Cook, Senator Craighead, voting no. Senator Crawford, voting no. Senator Davis, voting no. Senator Epke, voting no. Senator Fox, voting no. Senator Friesen, voting no. Senator Garrett, voting no. Senator Glore, voting no. Senator Groney, voting no. Senator Kenhar, voting no. Senator Hadley, voting no. Senator Hansen, voting no. Senator Burkhar, voting no. Senator Hickelman, voting no. Senator Howard, voting no. Senator Hughes, voting no. Senator Johnson, voting no. Senator Kittner, voting no. Senator Kalowski, voting no. Senator Coulterman, voting no. Senator Christ, voting no. Senator Keene, voting no. Senator Larson, voting no. Senator Lindstrom, voting no. Senator McAllister, voting no. Senator McCoy, voting no. Senator Mello, voting no. Senator Morfeld, not voting Senator Morante, voting no. Senator Pansy Brooks, voting yes. Senator Reapy, voting no. Senator Scheer, voting no. Senator Shields, voting no. Senator Schnorr, voting no. Senator Shoemaker, voting no. Senator Seiler, voting no. Senator Smith, voting no. Senator Stinner, voting no. Senator Sullivan, voting no. Senator Watermeyer, voting no. Senator Williams, voting no. 2 ayes, 45 nays, Mr. President, on the reconsideration.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The reconsideration motion is not adopted. I raise the call. Mr. Clerk.
Mr. President, Senator Chambers would move to amend with floor amendment 112.
Senator Chambers, you're recognized to open on floor amendment 112.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, so that I have this correct, this is one where it strikes the words form of discrimination.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. Members of the legislature, and this is for the record rather than those who are here, on page 1 and line 7, I'm striking some superfluous words. Those words are form of discrimination and substituting the word act. What really made this a target for what I'm doing is that Senator Larson, who did not draft this bill, who is not aware of the ramifications of this bill,